Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Thank you for playing that! Yay! Thank you, and welcome everybody to a terrific edition this week, today, of What's Up with Kobylt and Friends. And thank you, Kurt, for playing the Christmas music, the holiday music. It is the most wonderful time it's supposed to be. It can be a difficult time for so many people, so we thought this week we would have some people who are giving back for the holiday season. And then later on in the show, we're going to have someone, a psychologist, who's going to be in talking about emotional anxiety and what happens with the holidays. And we all know the little things to do to sort of avoid it, but maybe she's got a couple of extra, tricks. But for me, I know I have a couple of things that work for me. One is to get out and exercise, and number two, not really in that order, is to give back. And right now on the phone, we have an amazing man, an incredible man. His name is Bruno Serato. Bruno?
Ciao, buongiorno.
Buongiorno, Bruno.
Buongiorno tutti.
Buongiorno. And he is the owner of the White House restaurant, but he has done so much more. I know a lot about him, and I first learned about him through my husband, John, from the John and Ken show, because they often do a charity event down there once a year, at least, to raise money for Bruno's charity called Catalina's Club. So, Bruno, I'm going to let you take it away and tell us a little bit about this. What you do, essentially, among many other things, is you feed over 1,800 kids a day a meal, and that would be 1,800 either poor or homeless kids dinner every day through this organization. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a great project. My charity, as you say, is mentioned Catalina, because it's named after Mama Catalina, which is the one then April 18, 2005 told me when she found out there was a kid who only ate potato chips, he did not have dinner. She said, Bruno, why don't you feed him pasta? And honestly, I thought it was going to be one day only and that's it. But we've been doing that every single day for 11 years almost. And now we have 1,800 kids a night. We are in 17 cities around Orange County, including 2 in Long Beach and downtown LA. We are in 35 locations, and we're serving children which live in a motel, Section 8, underprivileged family and kids. Basically, it's a Viva la Pasta, I keep saying people, because we feeding kids and they are insecure to have a hot meal at nighttime. As you know, if you live in a motel, people doesn't have kitchen to cook for the kids. If you live on a Section 8, a lot of family has barely got money for a couple of weeks, pay their rent, and they don't have food for the last week of the month. I mean, we're looking for area where is it needed, and we're delivering pasta or cooked pasta for them. And up to date, I really served 1.4 million pasta so far, which has been 10 years. And we're very excited because to see children smile every time you see them eat your own pasta is fantastic. And the good news also, it's people get inspired for what they do, and they start Catalina's project in Texas, Chicago, New York, Mexico, and Italy. In fact, I just received an email this morning from Italy, their own project. They just have fed 3,500 dinners this week alone. I mean, we're inspiring this good news around the world. I call myself the virus of good, which that's what I like. I like to get people to do feeding the kids where they're in need.
Look,
that is my first project.
What better project than from an Italian man, an Italian mama, when mama says, Bruno, go and feed these kids. Bruno's got to run and do it. I mean, let's face it. How do you like that Italian accent, Bruno?
Pasta.
I mean, when mama says go feed these kids, you're going to run and go do it. But how the heck do you get 1,800? How do you do 1,800 meals a day. Who's cooking this stuff? Where are you cooking it?
For almost like 800 to 1,000 of them, we cook them from the restaurant.
Unbelievable.
And we get between lunch and dinner, usually by some of my guys to work in the kitchen in the morning. Because remember, we do different sauce. We do a couple times a week marinara sauce, which give them all the fiber that the kids needed. A couple times a week we give a bolognese, which give the protein also. I mean, we balance the veggie and the meat with the pasta to give a healthy food for the children. When the location is far, like January 1st, we get to go in San Juan Capistrano, which is almost like me 45 minutes from the White House, or Long Beach. What we do, we deliver tomato sauce and pasta to facilities that they are too far away from the restaurant.
Who drives the pasta to all these kids? And do you have designated areas? Like, are you in hotels that are designated for families that have no home?
No, well, we do a lot of the pasta we deliver from the White House. Most of them go to Boys Girls Club.
Okay.
At the Boys Girls Club, as you know, you have every kind of kid from Section 8 to motel. You have an average of underprivileged kids, and 90% they are one of the privileged, I do believe it, which there are people, they maybe don't have a hot meal at nighttime, or they don't have enough food. Because right now at school, they don't even give them big lunch. You know, a lot of the teachers talk to me, and this is a big problem in all the schools in the United States because the lunches are so small and not enough food for the kids. I mean, provide them a hot meal at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. They really have a good substantial meal. I mean, it doesn't matter where they live after that, but at least they have a hot meal before they go to bed. That is what my concept is, to do that. Make sure they have a hot meal before they go to bed.
You know, it's really important that people like you are doing this. You know, when over Thanksgiving, John and I, we actually went down to the Veterans Administration, and we were just helping to feed the veterans and their families. And what they were doing is they were really taking so much of it home. And it said to me, these people really have nowhere to get any food. They don't have any income. They're not able to buy any food in the evening. So the fact that you do this and that you're doing this for these people, because they may not have a meal at all, so they're not really having lunch, or it's a very tiny lunch.
I did 2 weeks ago. I went to, just before Thanksgiving, I take 10 Chapman students from the University of Chapman to help me out. We went to
I like that.
A mobile park home. We went house to house with pasta and turkey delivered to them because mobile park has kitchen. I mean, we went door to door from 6 p.m. till almost 8:30 p.m., deliver each of them one turkey and pasta. I mean, the thank you that you get from these people is amazing. 3 days later, I went to a Boys Girls Club. I told the director, I said, get me the family ready. I'm going to give them turkey and pasta. And I'm telling people, when you see the thank you of these people, to me, it's just like I give them who knows what. I mean, they're so happy, so thankful.
They're giving you back. They're giving you a lot more than you're giving them in a way, because you know.
Big time.
There's no doubt. I mean, when people, if they can just get involved and engaged, even just a little bit, one delivery, and when you see someone's face, you realize, wow, I made a difference. I'm going to go out and do this again. And this is my point with the show today, that sometimes the holidays can be tough. You know what? Try to step out, get in there, and do something for somebody else. Now, just a couple of points here. You've been named one of CNN's heroes. You're also, which is amazing, in Italy, you got the San Marino Silver Medallion, which also was awarded to the New York City Fire Department and Mother Teresa. I mean, come on. Mama, your mama must be pretty proud of you for all this stuff, I got to tell you.
I know. I think all this award. Honestly, I give credit to her because, I mean, yes, I work, but she's the one who teach me good manner, to help others, to love children, and to help children, to feed children. I think it's all Mom. I mean, all the awards I receive in my life is all credit to Mama Catalina because she's the one who was the inspiration on everything around me.
Isn't it always to our mamas, though? I mean, come on. Now, I tell you, I have John on the phone here because he's witnessed firsthand, he's been to many of the fundraisers and helped raise a small amount that goes toward this. So, John, tell me, when you're there and you see people coming in and donating, I mean, it's got to warm your heart, huh? You guys are a big force at this over KFI.
Oh, I think this year, between the cash and the pasta and the sauce, it was about $400,000 worth.
Yeah, it was the biggest one ever, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
also,
we've been doing it 6 years, and I'm just amazed what a simple idea it is. I mean, there's nothing simpler to cook than pasta. It takes a lot of talent to do it really well, like Bruno and his.
Hey, what are you trying? What are you
like,
trying to say here? Last night we made pasta, and you were afraid that I was going to overcook it. No, really, you don't understand. There's a real joke in my family. I'm either going to overcook the pasta, burn the pasta. Believe me, Bruno, I can burn pasta. That's for another time. And I'm a full-blooded Italian, and this is the truth. So he's right. There is a great way to cook pasta. That's a simple idea.
But it is simple, and it's a simple idea just to serve them pasta, and to see how this thing has exploded in the past, just watching it 6 years, and he's been doing it for 11 years. And then every year we come to him, and the number of pasta dishes he made had gone up and up and up. And now it's mind-boggling how he does 1,800 a day out of his restaurant. I can't get my mind around it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing.
Honestly, if you think about John, it's when I start with one kid, I didn't consider it to be a 2,001 day. But now that we have, then we cook some here and some on location, I feel like it's easy things to do than everybody can do. I tell people, start with one pasta. You will see, you will realize you can do so many more. And but one of the beautiful things, John, I want to ask you, did you feel that this year the feeling was amazing? I was telling to Michelle, I said, like, the feeling of the people came to delivering pasta. They feel they were part of a huge things in the community for all over Orange County. They were all happy to be part of it. And I think that, John, I don't know if you did feel that way, but this year I did feel there was a strong, strong love of feeling between all the people show up.
Yeah, people are really happy. I'm glad you brought that up because I noticed it. People come in and they're really full of joy because it's just something they can really relate to and see. They're not just writing anonymous checks. They're coming to the restaurant and they've got their car or their van, their truck filled with pasta and sauce. And there's something fun about, opening up the back of the pickup truck and unloading the pasta and the sauce.
Yeah, we've got some pictures of that too. Do you have a picture of the pickup truck? Oh my gosh, look at all that pasta. What a huge pot. It's true. I can't even navigate the raviolis from last night. Wow, that was pretty amazing. That what you're doing. How many people do you have working on this every night? And by the way, this is paid staff, right? You pay the staff to do this. Is this all volunteer?
On that day on K5 day, we had 120 volunteers because that day we start from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. Pasta fills the truck, deliver, and it's such a heavy item when we have a food and tomato sauce. I mean, do all day long. We have 120 people who will just volunteer. But during the week, obviously, I have the guys in the kitchen. I have my 2-3 girls. So there's not that many crew. It's just the expense is always there. And also now, because location, there are further some people that don't have a pickup truck. Sometimes we want to deal with Uber to see if they can deliver the pasta where it's far away from our location.
That would be great if you could partner with Uber, right? And see
That is exactly what
are you trying to do that? Because
yeah, we try to do that. Yeah.
I mean, every business wants to get involved to do something important like that. So I'm sure if you could partner with Uber. Just a couple of things before we let you go, Bruno. Not only are you delivering food to almost 1,800 people, children, every day, you've also expanded your programs. You're helping to pay for first and last month's rent for families to get out of the hotels and get on their feet. And also you've got a program going on for teens to get jobs so that they can help bring income to the families. This is just tremendous. Where does it stop with you? It's amazing. And
well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. In January, I have a big program again because since we collect so much pasta last week, I will talk to my assistant to have a meeting with me on beginning of January. Just try to organize us more to find more family in need for pasta. The Welcome Home program is phenomenal because kids live in a bad environment when they are in a hotel room or bad area. Pay the first and last month is what a family cannot. I mean, we come up with that. In the last 4 or 5 years, we already moved 118 families from a bad motel area to an apartment. The good news about that, family is safe, family environment is good, and the kids are 10 times better at school. The last program, which is the Bruno Hospitality, I start to teach the teenager how to be a dishwasher, a busboy, a waiter, work in the kitchen. because teenagers, they cannot go to boys' girls club at a certain age. I mean, instead to be on the parking lot.
And very often there's no program for teenagers. So this is terrific. So you're getting in there and you're getting the kids who can work. I think that's tremendous.
Anaheim has so many hotels because the convention center, the Ducks, the Angels, your Disneyland. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in teaching the teenager around my area to get the hospitality industry feeling. They can find a job easy. In fact, 2-3 girls already work over here at the restaurant. Couple of the people really work to some other area, and doesn't matter how much they make, but it's better to make a little bit of money for helping the family instead to be on the street and doing nothing. And that is a trip program. I mean, we feed them, we give them a house, and we find a job. I mean, I really love Catalina's club for that reason. I think that's my 3 major part of it.
You're an outstanding man, Bruno. I really I admire you. Now, for people who want to donate to Catalina's club, what should they do? Should they go online?
Yeah, they can go online with the Caterina'sClub.org, and if they can find it, they can go to Anaheim White House, and they can look for Catalina, and they can do that. They can donate online over here, call the restaurant for any donation, mail it to here, the restaurant too, and we accept everything. I'm thanking you, John, for also interviewing me, because I like the media to people to know that we don't take for granted. We say thank you for the fact that more people listen, more people can do the same project in their own backyard, because there's hungry kids every city, every street, every country, in every state in America. I mean, that's what I keep saying. Look on your backyard, you will see people are starving.
You're absolutely right. And you don't have to go far away to do it. You're exactly right. Just look in your own backyard and you can make a difference. Bruno, thank you so much for being on with us. John, would you want to stay on for another minute or two? Do you have a second to introduce Alex with me from Good Celebrity?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, thank you, John. Thank you to you, too, and thanks for everybody, okay?
Thank you, and we're going to come...
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas to you, and we're going to try and get... Thank you so much. We're going to try and get down there, John, right, with the boys, and go for a nice dinner with Bruno. He's amazing. And right now we've got... Alex, you on the line?
I'm here.
Here you go, Alex. Do you know Bruno at all? Bruno Serato? He's pretty outstanding, the owner of the White House restaurant, down kind of near you. He's from down in Orange County. John's actually on the line. John, do you have to go?
Yeah, I do have to go in just a minute. Just Alex... Hello? You do good work.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, John. Big fan of your show.
Thanks very much.
Thanks. It's a real,
real
bromance following up here. But, maybe we'll all catch up tonight, John, because I'm going to meet you over there later, right? Because Alex has something that he's going to be going and talking about next. So, John, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk a little later, okay? Thank you.
All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
It's always great, isn't it, that I have a built-in guest, no matter what. It's like, John, I don't care where you are. If he's my fallback, we should just do this together. But he's got his own show to really, attend to. So, Alex, thank you for being on. We're doing our show about charity. Bruno is an outstanding man. You probably know he feeds almost 2,000 kids a day, every single day, a hot meal. And that's expanded around the world now from what he's done. And it just started because his mother saw a kid eating a bag of potato chips at the Boys and Girls Club, and he thought, nope, that's not going to happen on my watch. And they just started this whole thing. It's pretty amazing. And you also are the creator, innovator of Good Celebrity. And I just am so amazed with what you've done with Good Celebrity. So impressed with all the good work that you do. Tell us just a little bit about it, and then we'll get into what you're doing tonight.
Oh, sure, yeah. GoodCelebrity.com is a website where we are focused on all of the positive contributions that celebrities and other people of note have made. It seems like there's just a ton of entertainment news out there focused on all of the scandal and nobody really telling all the really terrific things that people do with their notoriety and with their celebrities.
It happens every day. I have a friend whose daughter was over at Children's, for example, and we had the cast of The Voice run over there, and a lot of times they, it's planned, of course, but sometimes they'll just go over unannounced, and they'll go. There are celebrities doing so much good work, and you're right, we're not hearing about it, and you're the guy to bring it to us. So thank you so much. Now I know tonight you're going to be over at the Hollywood Palladium. What's going over there? That's a big one.
Oh, huge event going on at the Palladium tonight. It's the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Greater Los Angeles. It's their 4th annual Wishing Well Winter Gala. It's at the Palladium. It's hosted by Saved by the Bell and and E! News superstar Mario Lopez.
He's a good guy. He's got a giant heart. I know Mario. He's terrific. And I remember watching him, and he was on that pet show. Even then.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember that? I love that show. But even then, he's always had a big heart. I think if you have a big heart, it just follows you wherever you go, right?
Yeah, we just did a big feature on him not too long ago.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he ends up as the host for tonight's event. And we're expecting Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. from the Iron Man franchise. As well as...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But a ton of stars. Luke Robitaille and several of the LA Kings. They're honoring entrepreneur Scooter Braun. And then you've got some terrific music acts tonight. Tori Kelly and the Ex-Ambassadors are playing. And then Bush was added just this past week to close out the show, so it's just going to be a phenomenal event.
It's going to be incredible. I'm very excited for it, and thank you for introducing me to that, by the way, for tonight. Let's talk about some of the other work that you've done. You've got Taylor Swift. She was part of the Mannequin Challenge. You want to tell us quickly about that?
Yeah, these are just some of the stories that we aired this week at goodcelebrity.com. Taylor Swift and the best of the top celebrity mannequin challenges, and some of the mannequin challenges have had a charitable component. Making donations for every comment or share. So we try and focus on anything that's going to sort of, serve as a greater good. But it was also, just kind of a fun piece. We had celebrities reacting to the Dakota Access Pipeline rerouting.
That's a big one. Who?
That was a big story.
Yeah. Who did you highlight there? What celebrities were involved with that?
There were quite a few people that were there. Mark Ruffalo, we had done a piece on a couple of weeks ago because he had donated some trailers that were solar powered for the folks that were trying to continue to protest, and so he was a very, very big part of that movement. You had Kate Walsh, you had Jesse Williams, Katy Perry, Pharrell Williams that had all been following the story and showing their support very, very closely. I know that Leonardo DiCaprio had spent some time out there, so it really, had sent ripples through Hollywood and gotten some very, very big names involved. And so even though, nobody's out of the woods yet in terms of what they're trying to accomplish, for the whole project to just sort of be halted and to have the, Army Corps of Engineers say, let's sit down and figure out what we can do to listen to everybody and figure out a new game plan was a big win.
You know what I like about what you do? So many people report on celebrities, what they're doing and what they're involved with, but you're taking a proactive approach on how they can help other people, because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a celebrity, and some people take it on, and many of them take it on, and that's what your role is. You're out there to tell us what they're doing so that other people can benefit from it, and I love that. It's like it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, it was our dream to really be in a position where we would start receiving sort of like the hot tip, like the tip line, kind of a thing, where we would have celebrities and managers and agents, publicists, start
call you,
calling us, and we're so blessed to be able to open our emails and check our messages every day and have so many different things pouring in, and we could really be, doing 2 or 3 times the volume in terms of content that we're doing now, just with all of the terrific, especially this time of year, with all of the wonderful things that people are, doing with their time. But our philosophy is just really simple. If you have, a celebrity that's, got some notoriety and they're using their spotlight to shine it onto an organization that's really trying to do some good, then that's really where our focus is. And we've gotten a terrific opportunity to do some really good, insider-type pieces where we get to kind of kick the doors down of that foundation and that organization and follow that celebrity inside and see really, what their effect has been. Because, a lot of times I think that you get somebody that has some notoriety that, gets involved with something. They don't know, how deep it's going to go. And we're fortunate enough to hear those stories of, this guy, I went in and took a look at these, kids or the people that, needed my help, and now I've been doing it 25 years, and Case in point, we did a terrific interview this morning with Robert Patrick.
From Scorpion, right? Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. Tell me how that went. What was he telling you about?
Oh, it was fantastic. He couldn't have been a nicer gentleman, and we were just so excited to hear all of the wonderful things that he's been involved with. He's a big, huge USO supporter and has done like 10 trips for the USO over the last couple of years. And he's involved with a group now called Hillsides. He's actually in a motorcycle club, which I didn't know, and it was a lot of fun to talk to him about his work with the motorcycle club. But Hillsides in Pasadena is doing some terrific things for kids. They have a program where you can adopt a family for the holidays.
Oh, do they?
A lot of these foundations do.
How does that work? How does that work when you adopt a family? Do you get to meet them? In some organizations you do, and in some you don't. I know I have friends who really, really wanted to meet the families from various charities that they've been involved with, and they were able to do that, and they've stayed friendly with them, which is really a nice thing.
Yeah, I think it completely depends on who you are. We support. I mean, at Good Celebrity, we support a couple of charities where we sponsor some families each year, and we are typically not allowed to meet the family, but we do get a nice, bio and maybe a photo of the family, at the end of whatever our donation cycle is, and it's that part of it's cool, and I don't mind doing the silent thing, but if you're, I mean, you hear stories all the time about celebrities that become friends with the people that they're helping, and they end up staying attached, to your point, for many years to come, and paying for college tuitions and all kinds of stuff. And that's the stuff that we love to hear about, and it doesn't get enough exposure, and we're trying every day to bring all of these stories to light.
But start small. That's what I always say. Didn't you recently do something, U2 supporting Red, and also Omaz, remember that? They're supporting Red. That's led a lot of people to support that as well. I mean, it is true. You get a celebrity that people like to follow, and then it just sheds such a light on all of these organizations that need so much help. And, yeah. But then I think what happens is it then people in their own homes, and as Bruno said, you just have to look out into your own backyard. There's so many places and people that need help. And once you start just a little bit, it's infectious in a way. You want to do more. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Omaze is actually a really, really great organization. They've actually been reaching out to us the last couple of weeks, and I feel like there's maybe some synergy, but we've been very, very happy to promote all of their campaigns. They take a celebrity and an experience, and then they sort of raffle off the experience. And they're all different kinds of experiences. Right now they've got, hanging out with, U2 and going to a show and, experiencing a full dress rehearsal, front row, backstage, VIP, all of that. And you essentially buy raffle tickets that are all going to, in this case, Red is the charity that U2 has chosen to work with and has supported for years. But there's been all kinds of different things. You can sit VIP at the Late Late Show with James Corden. You can do dinner and a show with Neil Patrick Harris, lunch with Liam Payne in Los Angeles. I mean, some of these things are very, very intimate, and it's maybe you and the celebrity, out to dinner. I mean, it's just really, really cool to tell that kind of an experience and to utilize, the celebrity, right, for good. So. We really love and appreciate all of the terrific things that they're doing, and are very, very synergistic and like-minded in terms of wanting to promote all of their experiences.
All this came from your own heart, and it's really grown. I mean, it's very impressive since the first time I even spoke with you earlier this year. What's next? I mean, how do you even have the time to do all this? You did the interview this morning with Robert. You're coming up here tonight because you're down in Orange County in California here.
Yep.
This is really growing. Where do you see it?
My goal is that we can continue to, keep up with all of the terrific things that, people are doing. And, I could see it maybe being a television show at some point, and trying to reach maybe a broader audience. So we'll see. It's really exciting. I think people sort of get it and they understand the brand and what we're trying to do. And we're still very much in our infancy in terms of of what we're trying to do. But we're very proud of our content, and we're very proud of the relationships that we've built with all of the, with so much of Hollywood. And we haven't even really, touched the East Coast, although we do have a lot of publicists that send us stuff from all over the country. So really, it's just about sort of expanding and continuing to talk about the things that we feel like are truly important, that really matter, not just what you're wearing or who did what to who last week. But really how people are helping each other.
And once again, before I let you go, I mean, you don't have to be a celebrity to run out and do good. I mean, just start super small. I mean, just, right? I mean, what would you say to people who are intimidated? Some people are intimidated to go out and do something, to go out and help. I just say, especially because our next guest, Susan David, she's going to talk a little bit about the blues around the holidays. And that really is a big thing, especially for many, many reasons. People who've lost relatives and loved ones. I think that's tough. I know that, we've recently lost all of our parents in the past few years, and the holidays can be a little hard. And I even said to my kids, I said, you know what, get up, get out, and let's go serve somebody a meal or do something. And it does it fills you up. It really fills you up to give to somebody else who's maybe suffering in a different way. So there's always a way to do something and give back,
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
some advice may be, pick one organization or one foundation that you have an interest in or passion for, and try and do as much as you can for that one foundation as possible. And I think what you'll learn is, kind of the various layers and levels of how deep you go, and the people you get to meet within the organization will continue to drive that desire to keep helping, and you get to see real help and real change. So start with one and see where that takes you. That's our advice.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll see you tonight. I mean, what time are you all getting
tonight,
there?
On the red carpet.
Yeah, on the red. What time does that start, actually, the red carpet? I've got to get it together here.
Red carpet press check-in is at 5:30, and our publicists were nice enough to arrange some seating for us inside. So we'll be at the event, covering the event on the red carpet, but we'll be streaming the event as long as we can into the night. So follow us on Instagram, @GoodCelebrity, and we'll be posting lots of content there for everyone to see tonight. So we're excited.
I love that. You. Me too. I really do. So I look forward to seeing everybody there tonight. Alex, goodcelebrity.com. Thank you. And everybody, please tune in Instagram and see what's going on live. That's terrific. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Heather. Thank you.
Wow. Susan David.
Hello. How are you?
I am. I love the accent. Wait, you are from, where are you from?
I am originally from South Africa, but there's Australia in there as well.
I'm such a sucker for accents, I have to tell you. I always feel like you could say anything and somehow it just sounds lovely. But
marvelous.
Marvelous. It's just marvelous, darling. Thank you so much for being here. Should I speak in an accent for the rest of the show?
No. We will forgive you for not doing a confused accent.
It would be confusing and not very good either. Anyway, Susan David, PhD, award-winning psychologist. You're on the faculty of Harvard Medical School. Very impressive that you even took the time to talk to us. Thanks for being here. And you wrote a book, Emotional Agility. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the core question that I was asking when I wrote the book Emotional Agility is, what does it take internally in the way we deal with our thoughts, our emotions, and the stories that we tell ourselves in order to thrive in the world? Because one of the things that I just became so fascinated by is that there's no shortage of advice on how to be more productive and which app to download. But fundamentally, how we deal with ourselves internally drives everything. It drives our relationships, what jobs we apply for, it drives how we parent, so many aspects of our lives. And I wanted to write a book that was an evidence-based but highly practical book on how we can be successful internally to drive our broad success in the world that we live.
Well, in the title is emotional, and I think we all come into the world in a sort of at different emotional levels. I'm sure you agree on that, right? I mean, there are some people who... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we come with a different propensity, and then we are raised in different environments that cultivate or sometimes fail to cultivate different levels of emotional capacity.
I think it would be so terrific that at a very young age and all throughout elementary school that they had a course on how to conduct yourself emotionally. Again, some people may be more emotional. Some people come from an emotional household. Some people are just, rigid and frigid and show very little. And it would be really terrific to almost be taught at a young age how you can cope with the various levels of emotion that you may have. Do you know what I'm saying? So that when you're older and things really get to you in life, you don't let your emotions get to you. And then in which case that can bring you down, right?
Absolutely. One of the chapters in Emotional Agility is on how to raise emotionally agile children. And in this chapter, I talk about how, often as parents, we want to protect our kids. We want to take away their sadness. But the reality is that our children at some age are going to learn that not everything goes their way, and they are going to be faced in their lifetime with heartache. And it's really important that we help them to develop skills around their emotions. And we know that these skills are the bedrock of so much else, of the ability to self-regulate, of grit, of academic attainment. These skills are just absolutely critical. So I couldn't agree more. I think they are fundamental to our lives and our ability to be effective in them.
And what are some of those skills in a nutshell that you suggest being taught to young kids? Because I really think this is so important. And you're right, for anything else in your work, in your life and in your work as you move forward.
So emotional agility focuses both on children but more broadly on us as adults. And I think that these skills are common across. So one of the first things that I talk about, and I'll apply this to children specifically, but it does apply, as I say, more broadly, is that we live in a culture that effectively tells us that happiness is the be-all and end-all. Every which way we turn, we are told, 5 strategies to be happy and how to be happy, and we are often told to be positive and think positive. One of the things that I explore in the book is how even though those kinds of messages are very well-meaning, they've actually been found to undermine our resilience and to undermine our well-being. So there's a fair amount of research, for example, showing that people who strive to be happy actually over time become less happy. Now, how this applies to children is that when our children come home from school and they say, no one would play with me today, or they're upset because they weren't picked for a show, or were parents of heartache, so often with very good intentions, we rush in as parents and try to save our children from that heartache. We say to them, don't worry about it, I'll play with you, or everything will be fine, or I'll call up the mean kid's parents and make sure you get that. And one of the things that I talk about is, firstly, the skill of showing up. And what I mean by that when it relates to children and to adults as well is how when we do that, what we start messaging to children is that emotions are to be feared, that only some emotions are okay and the rest need to be pushed aside very quickly. So showing up is essentially the idea that with children, we really make space for them to experience all emotions, because it's only when they start feeling what sadness feels like, feeling what anger feels like, that they start firstly being able to recognize that it's not going to kill them, and secondly to appreciate that that emotion is not bigger than them. So the first thing that I would say is that so often we have what we call display rules in families. Display rules are, we don't do anger here, or we don't do sadness here. But actually all emotions should be okay, and we should try to message that with our children. It doesn't mean we need to act on all emotions, but all emotions should be okay. A second strategy is helping our children to label emotions. At a very young age, 2-3 years old, children are able to differentiate between sadness, anger, fear, and so on. So helping the child when you read a story, is this person angry, are they frustrated, are they sad, is a very important skill. And of course, as I say, these skills apply to adults as well. So often we come home from work and we say, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. But what is a more nuanced way of thinking about that stress? Are you stressed, or are you angry, or are you frustrated? Are you disappointed? The research shows that when we get more accurate with labeling, we get better.
So should you come home and you're stressed or pissed off or whatever, what do you tell somebody to do?
So the first thing is that so often when people are feeling stressed or feeling upset, they try to jostle their way out of that emotion. They try to push the emotion aside. I should just think positive. At least I've got a job. Okay. So one of the first things
that doesn't help, I don't think. But go ahead. I think that's what you're getting on, right? It doesn't really help.
It doesn't help. It absolutely doesn't help. So what starts to happen is people start to push these emotions aside. So the first aspect with ourselves as adults is show up to the emotion. Often beneath our emotions, beneath our sadness, beneath our fear, are signposts to things we value. I've never met someone who's depressed who isn't at some level concerned about how do I better be in the world, or a parent who is feeling guilty who isn't at some level concerned about how do I be more present. So often beneath our difficult emotions are signposts to our values. So the first thing that we want to do is not hustle with our emotions, not try to push them aside, not try to say I shouldn't feel or I should feel, but rather just lean into them, breathe into them. The second thing when you talk about the stress is try to get nuanced, try to get more differentiated. Don't just say, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. But what is the real emotion that's beneath the word stress? When we can label something, when we can put parameters around it, it often helps us to start actually shaping our behavior. So those are some examples.
I find it that because everyone has a different level of a different emotional level, like in other words, they'll handle something differently. Very often someone who's a little more reserved might look at someone who's more emotional like, oh, relax, oh, calm down. And I think, you know what? That's wrong. That's wrong to do that to someone else. I just find that the spectrum is so wide that very often the issue is that one side doesn't understand the other, and then it can get worse. Do you know what I mean? And then one's emotions can get out of hand. Let's put it that way. I mean, let's face it. A lot of people, their emotions, they can just get out of hand, and then a situation can get out of hand. What do you do in a situation like that when one side might not see the other or understand?
So one of the things that I talk about in emotional agility, and this is such a great example, is I talk about the difference between bottlers versus brooders. Very often we find these differences where bottlers are people who push emotion aside. It's okay, at least I've got a job, I'm just not going to go there, I've got this project to complete, and they pretty much ignore the emotion. Brooders are people who very often tend to wrap themselves up in the emotional experience. This is terrible, I feel so bad, I can't believe this person did this to me. Now, what's fascinating is even though bottling and brooding look so different,